Hey guys, before we get to the video, please click that subscribe button. Hey guys, Joshua Griffin here, serving the Middle Peninsula and the Northern Neck of Virginia, and wanted to do a video kind of cool, kind of different from anything I've done before, because there are all kinds of different websites, different Tom, Dick, or Harrys, that's what I call them, that put out, what is the best HVAC brand. And usually it's just somebody telling you their opinion on what the best brand is for your home. And I've said it before, I don't think there's any one brand that's the best in every market, but I wanted to do something different, something that, we could actually compare each brand with something tangible. I think there's a few different things we can do this with, and we probably will. But starting out, what is one thing that we can compare apples to apples on? If we're looking at this brand or this brand, which one is better, okay? So here's what I came up with. I think for this tournament, we're gonna do a tournament, single elimination. I have my own biases, just like those Tom, Dick, or Harrys that put their websites out and what they think is best. But we're gonna take all that out of it. We're gonna try to keep it fair. I put them in alphabetical order, so nobody's getting any special treatment. And we're gonna just put them head to head. We're gonna go through each brand and go through which one has the best warranty out there. I'm not saying that whatever the brand comes out in the end, the best is the best for your home, but we're gonna know by the end of this tournament who has the best warranty of all the HVAC brands. So stay tuned. So let's lay some ground rules for our tournament. And just to keep this fair across the board, because every time I do a video like this, some journeyman heating and air guy gets on here, comments and says, this is the way it is in my company and blah, 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 blah. So if you're one of those guys, shout out to you. But just to keep this fair across the board, I want to lay a couple ground rules. Rule number one, we're only going to be comparing the manufacturer's warranty with that product, stock warranty, if you want to call it that, registered right out of the box. We're not going to talk about extended warranties, labor warranties, extra warranties, something your company adds in there. None of that matters for this tournament. We're only going to compare what their websites. So again, if you're one of those guys that thinks you know everything, before you go in and comment, I'm only talking about what says on their website. So if you tell me, oh, well, it ain't that way at my company, this brand actually offers this warranty, I don't care. We're only going to use what's on their websites, what they're actually advertising. That is their warranty in black and white, right there in writing. So that's rule number one. Rule number two, just to keep it simple, so we could just compare apples to apples, we're going to be comparing split systems with an indoor and an outdoor unit. And the indoor unit is a ducted unit. So we're not talking about ductless mini splits or package units or any of that extra stuff. So just to keep it real simple, it's either going to be a furnace or air handler inside, or it's going to be an AC condenser or heat pump outside. So we're just going to keep it real simple. That's the rules. Let's get to the tournament. Let me also say, if you are in the market for a new heating and air system, before you spend thousands, check out my website, newhvacguide.com. The link will be below. Hey guys, welcome back to round number 3. And I'm really excited about this next round, because it's going to be a landslide victory for one of these folks. So here we are with our tournament. Of course, in round number 1, we had Carrier and Daikin. Round number 2, we had Lennox and Mitsubishi. And now we are to round number 3, Nortek versus Rheem. And if you're not familiar with either one of these brands, maybe you're familiar with some of the brands that they actually make or license the name of. And so for Nortek, They actually make more than just this list, but they've got Maytag, Frigidaire, Gibson, Newtone, Brown, several other brands. We've actually seen them in mobile homes under the Miller and Intertherm brand names. And we've also, Nortek used to be Nordine. So sometimes we'll see Nordine on a lot of their stuff. We're going to come back to Nortek. I'm going to go through Rheem stuff first, and you'll see why in just a second. But in this episode, we're talking about Nortek versus Rheem. So let's talk about Rheem. I pulled up just some of their warranty forms, and I actually got a kick out of these because they are funny looking to me. They're kind of old school. They've got this cool border here, and it reminds me, when I was a kid, my dad had this recliner from a store called Montgomery Ward, and he financed the recliner, and for some reason it just sticks out in my brain. I remember him having this document that had all the info from his financing for his recliner, and it had something similar to this. So I just kind of got a kick out of how this looks. Just a little different. It's got the font that they've chosen, and with this border. For some reason, I just had a flashback thinking of that Montgomery Ward recliner. But anyway, there's a lot of verbiage here. I've pulled up a couple of these documents for their furnaces, a couple of these documents for their heat pumps and air conditioners. And I think just ultimately, if you scroll down to the second page with all of these, you can kind of see here, if we zoom in on this one, it says 5-year applies to this, and this, and 10-year, if it's registered, and it applies to this, and this. And so it looks like we're looking at some 5-year warranties on some things, like maybe their coils, and then some 10-year warranties on some of their heat pumps, air handlers, and things like that, and furnace, some certain models. And coming over to their heat exchangers, the same thing. So we've got a lifetime warranty on some of them, and 20-year. Let's see. I saw that on one of the documents here, the 20-year. But basically, very similar to some of the other brands that we've looked at in previous episodes, previous rounds of this tournament. Some products are a little bit lower. Some of their more premium products. Here's that 20-year that I was talking about. For certain models, they come with a 20-year warranty on their heat exchanger. So, across the board, I think that that's comparable to several other brands. And one thing I didn't mention with Rheem is, they actually make several other brands as well. They make Ruud, R-U-U-D. If you pronounce that Rudd, I've been corrected by some of their guys before. So they call it Ruud, and they say it's rude to not pronounce it correctly. Then they make a few other brands. I'm not going to get into all of that. You're welcome to look that up. It's pretty, it's not like they hide it. You can find it on the internet. But so, that kind of answers it for Rheem. That's kind of their warranties and how it works. Certain models are this, certain models are that. By the way, I've had a few folks ask me about this background. If you've ever seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness, this is the very end of the movie, so I don't want to spoil the movie if you've never seen it. But if you've never seen it, please go watch it. It's one of my favorite parts of any movie. It's a perfect struggle victory story, and I just love movies like that. So getting back to our tournament here, we're still looking at that comparable 10-year on certain things, lifetime or 20 years on some of their heat exchangers. And again, that's pretty comparable with some of the other brands. Now let's talk about Nortek. And I think this is going to be pretty quick because I'm not even going to pull up any of their warranty forms. I'm just going to tell you a couple stories. The first story is when I first started Griffinaire, right there, Griffinaire, or right there, Griffinaire. I get confused on the backwards and this and that. But when I first started Griffin Air, we were kind of playing around. I didn't want to just install the brand that my last company I worked for installed. I wanted to find something that was a fit for us, a fit for our customers. And I tried multiple brands. Griffin Air is not something that I inherited from my dad and decided this is the brand we're going to do because dad always did this brand or something like that. I started Griffin Air from the ground up, and we tried multiple brands. Well, one of those brands was, it was a few of the Nordyne brands. We did the air temps that are distributed by R.E. Michael, and then we also did some Maytags, and then of course some of their mobile furnaces. We still will sometimes do some of their mobile home furnaces just because there's not a lot of companies that make them, really. We did a few of those. I'm not going to go into everything as far as, the good, the bad, the whole entire story, but what we need to talk about as far as this warranty is, and I believe in some cases, these warranties are useless. One of my customers, when the supplier gave me their equipment, they did not give me an AHRI matched equipment. And, I probably should have checked it out, but, I figured they knew what they were doing. And so we installed it. We did have issues. And then they actually came out to the job site and decided that that was the problem, that the equipment did not match. So what they did was they then turned around and gave us the matching air handler to this heat pump, put that in, and everything was fine. Well, here we are years later, we find out they will not honor that warranty now because it was originally not an AHRI match. And I've heard horror stories from other guys too in our industry. I was just talking to a guy not that long ago that he had returned a coil that was leaking to his supplier for Nordyne or Nortek, and they would not honor it because the coil was dirty or was a little dirty or whatever. I have some of these companies that we've worked with that they did not have to honor the warranty, and they still do in some cases. For example, I did a Mitsubishi years ago that I did not install, that the customer could not prove that it was installed by a licensed and insured company. And my supplier for Mitsubishi said, look, we normally don't cover this, but we're going to cover it. And so, that was kind of cool, something good to say about them. But Nortek does not seem to operate that way. They look for reasons to not honor their warranties. So I don't really care what their forms say. Based on my experiences and based on some of my friends' experiences, if you're watching this and you say, no, I've installed Nordynes, or I have one in my home and it's not been that way for me, I think that's great. You've dodged a bullet. Good for you. It actually might be that we're no longer a dealer for them, so that's why they look for reasons to not honor their warranties. Maybe if we were still selling their products, then maybe it would be a different story. So I don't know. Take it with what you will, but when I go to some of these other manufacturers, they don't ask me what I install or what I sell. They honor their warranty outright. And, as they should, especially if it's a part failure that is under warranty. So just something to put under your hat. Again, if you have had a different experience, feel free to comment. Let me know. I don't claim to know everything, but this third round here is going to be an easy win for Rheem, making it into the semifinals, because Nortek's warranty, in my experiences and in several other folks' experiences, it's pretty useless, really. So Rheem is going to make it to the semifinals. Congrats to them. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're in our coverage area in Virginia, give Griffin Air a call. We'd love to give you a free estimate. And if you are not in our coverage area, but you are in the market for a new heating and air system, as I said before, check out my new website, newhvacguide.com. And before you spend thousands, you got to check out this website. We've got all kinds of stuff on there to help you Know what you need to know before you purchase anything, and also things to know as you're going through the process. Avoiding some of those headaches that you hear other folks go through, this guide will help you through that. So check out that website, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe.